Hi everyone, and welcome back to Noona's Noonchi, where I do a deep dive into some of your favorite K-dramas from a mental health perspective. I want to talk more about Reply 1988. Remember I said this is a gem of a K-drama, and I want to specifically talk about a scene in episode 15 of Reply 1988. Deok-sun and her mom meet with Deok-sun's teacher. Now, Deok-sun is the female protagonist. We all love her, just very endearing, lots of aegyo, you know, the cuteness. And I talked about her in another episode. And I love this character. Now, we do know, threaded throughout the K-drama, she is not the best student. In fact, she's probably one of the not so good students at all in the class, where her older sister is at Seoul National University, a stellar student, and even tries tutoring her. Anyways, in this scene, now I will tell you, I've seen this same scene multiple times, and I still tear up. I think it grips me both recalling my childhood and the expectations I felt to please my parents, but also myself as a parent, and how I don't want to put all that pressure onto my kids. So let me explain. In that scene, Deok-sun's teacher tells Deok-sun's mom and Deok-sun that it will be very difficult for her to get into a 4-year university. That is a blow. I mean, for any parent, let alone a Korean parent, to hear that, very difficult to grasp. You see the mom's disbelief, her disappointment, like shock. She holds it together pretty well, right? She's very composed in that, and Deok-sun just kind of crouching like this. And she knows it. She knows she's not a good student, right? There's so many wonderful characteristics about Deok-sun that we love. Her academics is really not even part of it, but that is a big part of our Korean culture, even now, right? That has really not changed. And I want to say that, in fact, Korea is the #1 country with the highest suicide rate in the OECD. And I just want to point that out because that tells you something. Still, the competitiveness, saving face, perfectionism, success-driven of our culture, it's very difficult. And I know from hearing folks that live in Korea that they hear students all the time killing themselves. That's a jarring piece of data, but I want to share that because this needs to be addressed. That scene is pivotal and it grips me. So when the teacher tells Deok-sun's mom, basically directing her, it's going to be hard for her to get into a 4-year university. It's not all lost. She could, she has 1 year left. We can hope for the best. And then very difficult, pretty much forget her attending any college in Seoul, which is where the best universities are. Again, I'm looking at both Deok-sun and Deok-sun's mom reaction. It's just very hard to see. And then you see them leave. And this is where I tear up, actually. I hope I can hold it together because I tend to tear up all the time I see this. I've seen this multiple times. Deok-sun's kind of like this outside, she, like waiting, bracing for her mom's reaction. Her mom turns around about to say something. Perhaps, I'm thinking the mom could have meant to scold or say something a little like, really, you need to work hard, be a little bit more direct and maybe demanding. But Deok-sun's mom sees the reaction, and Deok-sun went like this. She flinches. Deok-sun flinches as the mom turns around. Mom's turning around, and I'm being very dramatic, so I'm trying to play it out. And Deok-sun going, now I don't think the mom would have hit her, but yes, that happens in Korea over grades. And and the mom softens. And what the mom does, and this is where I tear up, takes her hand, Deok-sun's hand, kind of firmly grasps it, giving a shake, like comforting her and saying, go and study, go ahead and study, and go do the rest of your day, because there was still school going on. And you see Deok-sun's reaction like, what? I thought I was gonna get scolded. And that's where I tear up, because it's like, you feel for Deok-sun. She shows that guilt and shame. And her response to her mom, I'm so sorry, mom. 미안해, 엄마, 미안해, 엄마. And then she runs to her because the mom walks away after comforting her. And the mom turns around and says to her, after Deok-sun says, I'm so sorry, mom, the mom says, I'm fine. Let's break that scene a little bit. I didn't really like that. I mean, yes, the culture is very much geared toward parents, authoritarian. Authoritative is the balanced parenting. Authoritarian, more about parenting my way or the highway. And it is a lot about pleasing the family, the parents doing well in college, parents get bragging rights. The mom is dejected, disappointed at that time, as any mom would be. So I felt for her as a mom, right? And she's walking down like this, disappointed with the news that she heard. And then, it's heart-wrenching to hear Deok-sun saying, I'm so sorry, mom. almost like, I'm sorry, mom, I'm a failure. You know, that's what she's thinking. And then Deok-sun's mom saying, I'm fine. Now, I think I understand as a parent, the mom saying, it's okay, I'm gonna be okay. But what I wish she would have said following is, it's okay, I'm sorry, I'm fine. Accepting the child's apology, accepting your child's apology is super important, but also saying, coming back to her to comfort her and saying, you know what? The teacher said you have 1 year left. I'm hopeful. Let's not give up. Do your best. Now, in reality, it is hard for a parent to do that, especially after devastating news. I'm going to be honest with you, but that's what I want for the sake of our children's mental health, our own mental health too, because we want to also provide that hope to our kids. And in doing that, we also help hope ourselves. Parents, our job is to empower our kids towards self-efficacy, to build them up, build them to be self-confident so that they can be successful in the workforce or whatever they do. And at that moment, I wish she had said, after I'm fine, and maybe come back to her and said, Deok-sun, because Deok-sun ran to her saying, don't give up, you've given up on me, mom, you called me Deok-sun. Side note, she wanted to be called Suyeon. I actually didn't get that part, but I think she just thought Deok-sun was an ugly name, and her mom says Deok-sun, her real name, right? And I really think the mom looked at her in the eye and was looking at her, giving her hope. So I saw that, but words of affirmation help, right, parents? And to say that to your kid, it's okay. We heard the teacher, you have 1 year left, so let's work hard. What can I do to make sure that you work hard? Or what can I do to make sure that you can do your best, right? How can I help you is what parents should ask. It's hard to ask that of our kids. We just expect them to do it, but how do we expect them to do it without helping them and guiding them? That's our job, right? Yes, that's more of the Korean American mentality I'm giving you, but as a clinician, as a therapist working with families, I tell the parents that kids, they can feel your love and they know it, but they need your affirmation, your words of affirmation to keep them going. And also, it's not about just keeping them going so they do well, but about building their self-confidence. You have to build them up. That's a devastating news to hear. You're most likely not going to go into a 4-year university, let alone forget about Seoul, right? It's like, you know, forget about your safety state schools and think about like a 2-year university. That's a blow to a student as well. And parents, it's important to keep that in mind. So the mom saying, I'm fine, I wish she had said some more. That's just me being honest. I thought it was a very well done scene. Of course, I love the way K-dramas just grip you. I tear up all the time, but I'm tearing up more at Deok-sun's reaction because I remember feeling that way as a child to my parents, right? Always feeling guilty not doing enough or shamed because I'm not good enough. We have to take that away from our culture. That is understanding our culture, you know, enduring the imperfections of our culture. I've talked about that. That is important to understand that as part of our culture. However, we can break unhealthy patterns for the sake of our mental well-being, for the sake of our family success, the kids' success. And here's the thing, we see Deok-sun recovering later. She's resilient. She's the female protagonist. She has this bubbliness to her, the aegyo, she's driven in her own way, bubbly, and people love her and people love being around her. So that's fine, but it also devastated her. You see her later with her head down, just trying to come to grips with knowing that she disappointed her mom. I don't think it was about her. I don't think she was thinking about herself so much. Especially in the Korean culture, you think a lot about how your parents are going to react, what they're going to say, you know, are they going to punish, scold you, the disappointment in their eyes, right? And then the words you're going to hear, that's what kids tend to think. And even now, they tend to think that. I know that. That's why kids lie to their parents about grades or not tell them stuff because they're afraid of their parents' reaction. We never want that. You never want your kids to hide serious things from you because it could, first of all, snowball and grow, and then it could be something very devastating when you could have prevented something or really helped your child through it. And I've seen many situations like that, specifically self-harming or suicide attempts. I'm being very honest, where they couldn't tell their parents, so they thought that was the only hope they had left. So I'm holding back some tears because I really want this to come across. That scene is very important, but again, what I would have wanted to see is the mom saying, I'm fine. Let's not say sorry. You're going to do well. The teacher believes in you. I believe in you. How can I help you? Maybe we'll get you a tutor. We'll get your sister to help you again. We don't want to put too much pressure on you, because we know it's hard, but we know you're going to succeed and you're going to do well, whatever you choose to do well. And what is your strength? That's being solution focused. What are you good at? That's what we're gonna find and get you into university, because education is important. It does help us to do well, right? So I don't want to deny that. So here's a clip of just somebody, a student saying that I talked to, that talked a little bit about why she liked the character Deok-sun.
That time when that drama came out, I was not doing the best academically in my classes in high school. Like I was taking like a really hard math class. I was taking calculus and I was like struggling in that class. And it was like my first time like struggling academically like that. And or like not getting like an A kind of thing. And I was like feeling really bad about myself. But that drama just kind of like reminded me, like I felt like I saw myself in Deok-sun a lot, because it just like felt like, oh, like no matter what, like no matter like where you end up or like how you like, what your parents are like always gonna like support you, and they like love you like no matter what.
See, and even students really relate to her character because of that. And this is a Korean American students really relate. This is 2021 and we still have the same cultural norms going on in society, even here in America. And again, I cannot change that part of our culture, but we can definitely navigate our way better in families to build healthy patterns, break unhealthy patterns, unpack that, unlearn a lot. It's hard to unlearn things, let me tell you. It's hard to do that. But you know, that's a big part of my job as a family therapist, helping parents and empathizing with the kids, empathizing with the parents, because I'm also a parent of 4 kids and sometimes a tiger mom myself, I admit it. But again, helping your kids to build that self-confidence. Hard skills are very important, yes. Education, extremely important, yes. But soft skills get you pretty far these days. Innovation is key in the year 2021. It's been that way. It's not, traditionally we're straying a little bit in a different direction, and I think the Korean culture is on the cusp of that, right? And I don't want to speak too much about the Korean culture because I'm not living there, but from what I've heard, things are changing, and that's good. And here in the US, obviously, we emphasize soft skills a lot. Communication, interpersonal skills, the energy that you give out, the tone, all of that matters in the workplace and how far you get with people, being a good team leader, being a good teammate. Those are what I'm talking about that Deok-sun had. And that could have been what the mom could have brought out. And I know the mom knows that because that's in previous scenes, the dad and mom talk about how proud they are of their daughter. Just that scene would have been good to say, no, but you're great at this. You can do it. You have the skill. Work hard. It's okay about the grades. That is so hard to say. Hey, it's okay, don't get straight A's. No, I'm not saying parents to say that, but it's okay. You're not a straight A student, right? It's okay. I know that you're good at this. Here's what you're really good at. You're good at writing. You're good at speaking. Bring that out, parents. Very important. And then the kids, you'll see them. You'll see them be more empowered to work hard, knowing that they might have to work harder than some, but that doesn't matter, right? You need to build on their strengths. Not point out what they're not doing well. That's already gonna hit them. Hit them where it hurts, don't do that. It's like rubbing salt in the wound. We do that, but I'm asking you to be mindful of not doing that. So folks, again, learning from that example, hey, I got through it without tearing up. One of my favorite scenes, and you've heard that from a Korean American student about why she really enjoys Deok-sun's character.